So we'll be calling the November 17th, 2021 Advisory Committee meeting to order. First order of business, welcome to everyone, obviously. First order of business is approval of the October 20th, 2021 minutes. Did everyone have the opportunity to review the minutes? And if so, do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second. Craig.
I have a motion by Mr. Blue, a second by Mr. Zarandek, correct?
Yep.
And any discussion? Hearing none. I guess we don't have to do a roll call vote, do we, Karen?
I don't think so.
All in favor, vote by saying aye, raising your hand.
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Thank you. Next order, business item is the 109 report. Karen, I believe that's your topic.
Yes. Normally Pete would do it. He's not able to join us tonight. And so just a couple of things that were on that if you did not attend the board meeting last month, I was just going to bring up, there have been a couple of requests for service deviations from waste haulers. And first, it was thought to be on the agenda for the board to approve or deny those requests. I think they were both for commingling yard waste and garbage due to issues with staffing and things like that is from the waste haulers. But by the time the meeting actually came to pass, Peter Urban jumped in and was able to clarify that it's actually in the ordinance. It's hard for me to explain. Hopefully some of you were there, but that the board actually did not have authority to approve that request, that it would actually have to be some wording would have to be changed in the ordinance to allow the board to do that. So, so there was discussion that maybe it would be beneficial to have that ordinance tweaked a little in order to give the board that authority, but for the time being, that was not able to be approved. Is there anything else anyone wants to add on that? Because that's not really my area of expertise.
The request was made due to staffing and COVID-related issues, but I don't know that anyone, we were waiting board approval. But I believe Andy can probably explain it best, but is the word codify, they took the ordinances, they turned them into law now where those requests are going to have to go in front of city council before they can be changed, was my understanding. Karen?
Yeah, I think so. That, yeah, council has the final say unless, but I think that's where one of the board members was maybe interested in trying to get that changed. Just so if there were circumstances such as this, that we could actually take some action a little bit sooner to help that out. The other thing, if we're ready to move on. The other part of the board meeting, I did throw in Pete's slides about the 5-year solid waste management plan preparations. That is something that is required through the state, and so they actually did, the state did brand new. Did some training.
Karen, you're buffering. I don't know if your
Yeah.
connection is giving you trouble or whatnot.
In a way to help you along. So
We lost the last couple of minutes of you, Karen, because of your buffering. Oh, she's gone.
Yeah, she's frozen on my screen.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we can move on and Karen gets reconnected and we can come back to this 5-year solid waste management plan. The next order of business is subcommittee reports. I know there's been some great work done by subcommittees, and I don't know, maybe let's see, the residential and C&D subcommittee meet. Sandra, are you on the call? Would you like to give an update for your subcommittee?
Sure. Basically, we did not have a quorum at our meeting, and we seem to be at a bit of a roadblock in a certain area. As you know, we've been working on 3 elements of construction waste: and shingles, asphalt, and crushed concrete. And the difficulty seems to be we're at the level where we need to talk both to Metro and to the state. Phone calls have been made, but we have not received anything back on either of those. We did have some talk about what area we would go into next, but not having a quorum and only several of us being present, we have not made any decisions. What I'd like to do is encourage everybody to come to the next meeting, and let's see what area we'd like to pick up, what recommendation we'd like to deal with next. That's it.
And thank you, Sandra. My apologies. I was not even available for that meeting. The budgets are over with now, so back to normal life. But I would second Sandra's request that everyone that available, please make every effort to attend the subcommittee meetings. On the next subcommittee, Greg, would you like to give an overview on the ICI Fall Subcommittee?
Okay. Briefly, we just met and we didn't have a quorum or most of our members, and we spent a lot of time reviewing the document that we've been going through and trying to get the wording right. And there's a lot of talk about whether we should, be looking at how big of a picture or not. So I don't know if it wasn't clear to me whether we're ready to present that to the 109 board yet. I'm not sure. I think staff is going to type it, make some changes and editing, and then present that again. Is that correct? I don't know if Karen's back on, or Diane, could you?
I'm back, I think. Can everybody hear me? Sorry.
Back. All right.
I believe we definitely have some cleaning up to do. So
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll be quite ready. We would probably want to share with the advisory committee, full committee first. Even though I know a lot of members have been coming to both subcommittees, and that is appreciated.
Right.
Karen?
I do appreciate the other people that have been sitting in with us and helping us out. That's been great.
Karen, would you like to go back to the 109 board report on item 2, the 5-year solid waste management plan preparations? You were
I can
looking at throughout the whole section there.
I will try. Hopefully that wasn't the issue. Okay, so I was just basically sharing what Pete shared at the board, that there are quite a bit of things to do for the solid waste management plan to be done next year. And so it's quite organized in helping you along, or us as staff, to make sure that we get everything that we need. So, so that's what these slides were from his report. And the board will be involved in that, but that was a big part of his presentation at the meeting we had last month. So I just wanted to kind of share, and I can share these slides if anyone's more interested in how the plan cycle works. But it's a big thing. So, so we'll be working on that throughout the year.
All right, thank you. The next item on the agenda, well, it's actually not on the agenda, maybe, but we were talking about the self-haul applications or challenges or, opportunities, if you will. Let's look at it from a positive side. And tonight we're hearing from Rumpke as well as from Republic Services. So we have Hillary Laddick, I believe, or Laddick, and Todd Prayer. Which one of you would like to go first? Hearing no volunteers, maybe I could ask for Hillary to proceed.
I got you, Bruce.
Oh, okay, Todd, go ahead.
Thanks a lot there. Hello, everyone.
I was
Asked
gonna
just to
for a
do just a short little presentation on the transfer station and the self-haul. Bear with me on I'm usually a Teams guy, so this WebEx.
What
Everybody
did
see my screen?
Republic,
Yes.
what was Republic before it was Republic for us old timers who have been around a while?
Industrial disposal.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Todd, are
Everybody see my
you,
screen there?
we
No.
do not see a screen. Do you have a share button?
Yeah. Hang on.
Does he have to be made a host?
I made him presenter just in case that was a problem. There we go.
Good. Ding, ding, ding.
Ding, ding, ding.
we
Okay,
got
so
it.
we own the Poplar Level transfer station over on Poplar Level Road at 4446 Poplar Level. It's not a huge place, but it gets the job done for us. Bear with me on my maps. I'm not the greatest on editing these things, but Poplar Level Road is out here on this location. This is the route, the red, for the hauling trucks to come in. They go into the 3-sided roofed garage there, pavilion, dump the trash, and then it is pushed with a front end loader, bulldozer type equipment. And then the blue is where the transfer trucks drive underneath, and when the trash falls off the wall into the trailers, and then it exits the facility. The green surrounding area these are all either dilapidated, needing repairs, all open top containers storage. We use this facility for when we're staging areas, if we got elected to or got awarded a new contract. Also, we use it if we lose a contract to store containers. We used to own some of this down here, which we've recently sold, where we used to keep a lot of our just our residential containers, our wheeled carts. So that's just kind of an overview of the property. I was trying to get our ops manager to get his drone out, but he's been off and a little busy as well. So we understand and appreciate the desires to do the material diversion, and we do feel like there's some material out there to be had, but there's definitely some issues that we have doing it at the transfer station. Number one is safety. I think safety is in the forefront of everybody's mind there. There just simply isn't sufficient space in order for us to provide access for unsupervised public. Looking at the map, you can easily see that, a lot of this area is empty at this time where the picture was taken. But like I said, it does get used up. Sometimes when we have some extra trucks, they have to go over there as well. So there's just no space to put extra roll-offs assigned to separate materials.
Can you give us some idea of the scale of what we're seeing? Because is there a tractor trailer or something there that we could use for reference, please?
So these containers here are 22 foot long.
Oh, okay, that's a
Top
big help.
panels.
Thank you.
Okay. So the building here is just long enough for a 53-foot trailer and its cab. It basically covers the whole thing. when they come underneath to collect the waste.
That's helpful. Thank you.
You're welcome. The other thing is Republic Services owns the transfer station. However, we do not operate it. It is operated by Atomic Transfer. So the only employee we have on site is the scale house operator. So that, of course, we can't mandate Atomic to hire somebody else to, give instructions, supervise the additional operation with the public. So between the safety aspect of it and just who actually operates the transfer station, it's not really a viable option for Republic Services at this time.
Can you specify a little bit like last month, like so there are people using the facility for self-haul?
Yes, people do come in, they have to pay the gate rate to dispose of waste.
And they go the red line?
They go with the red line, yes, just like our trucks would use, or
Okay.
anybody's trucks really, any hauling facility.
And
Yeah.
they unload?
They do unload. Yep, inside the building here.
Do you have a profile shot of that area?
I do not.
So it sounds to me like the issue has more to do with space. If they're already doing the same thing, but you mentioned roll-offs, not having room for more roll-offs, like I
Correct.
guess metal.
There's definitely no room inside the building for any roll-offs for, separate material. And there's too much traffic out here to have anything. My first thought was maybe we could have something here, but with this tractor trailer rolling in constantly, there's just too many obstacles to provide safe. And also without having somebody there to supervise it.
How do you keep the current self-haul customers from doing dumb things and getting in the way of the tractor trailers currently?
Well, they just follow the traffic flow. I mean, there's no other way to really do that. They have to go in and dump inside the building to where there's not a whole lot of room to do anything stupid.
Okay, so they're sharing the path until they get to the building and then they split off.
Wherever there's a lane, so there's probably room for 3 lanes here. So
Mhm.
whatever lane opens up first, they're sitting out here in this area. And then when somebody pulls off, they fill in the space.
And do they exit the same side of the building that they entered, it appears?
Yes.
Okay.
Todd, it's Andy with Waste Management. I promise I'm not asking for industry secrets or anything, but
Yeah.
can you give an idea of scope or scale here? Like how many trucks you get a day, like versus how many self-haul, just to get an idea of like how much self-haul relative to your overall volume are you talking about?
Oh, it's not a lot, Andy. Most of the self-haul, I believe, come to your facility just because they don't know of our facility.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't think it was much, so I just wanted to make sure
Great
that was a
question. I
correct
can probably
assumption.
send out an email to everyone with those numbers tomorrow. I don't have those.
Do we have any other questions for Todd?
Well, I would just love to have a better idea of what's underneath that roof. Because I think.
Think of it as a big garage. It's
Right.
just a pad, concrete pad.
Uh-huh.
It's got a drop off, and the bulldozer pushes it off.
Do you mean
into
like a
the-
dock?
Yep,
Okay,
exactly.
okay.
But instead of the tractor trailer backing up to the dock, it pulls alongside of it.
Okay. But the self-haul, like where is the edge of the dock? Is it on the edge of the building or is it in the middle of the building?
The back side of it.
Okay,
All right. So the tractor trailer pulls up right through the back end of it. And then everything, 90% of it is a concrete pad.
so you're just shoving it off the floor into the
Correct.
truck? Okay.
Correct. We don't compact it or anything there. Just goes straight into an open top trailer. And then it gets tarped and heads up to our landfill in Trimble County.
Is it a free span building or are there post interior?
Pre-span.
Okay.
So a self-haul person unloads their own truck, but they place it on the ground because of the way you have it to where it can be shoved just off the dock.
Yes.
That's helpful. Okay. Does this building perimeter have the two long sides? Are there walls or is it open?
It's walled, because of wind and all that good stuff.
Right. Okay.
Do you feel like you get material? I mean, we've talked, I know you come to these meetings and we've talked a lot about possible recovered materials.
Mhm.
Metal, of course, being one, but I guess because it's landfill, you're not really paying attention to the exact, what's in all the loads, but do you?
Percentage, how much is metal and how much is all that? No, we don't pay attention to any of that. Put it on the ground, we push it in.
If I could say something real quick, I have right next door to my facility is Bico Transfer Station, which is very similar to the Poplar Level Road Transfer Station. So I see the trucks that go in and out of there every day. I've been to the Outer Loop landfill. I've dumped there, and I can tell you that these are not places at all where you want a residential person in a pickup truck or anything like that. They are triaxle trucks dumping big loads, and I think when they both start off talking about safety, it's an extremely safety concern to have people in these areas trying to separate out anything they're doing. It's just the scale of what's going on there and the amount of trash and stuff that flows through there. I think I understand kind of their views that from a safety standpoint, from just the scale of what goes on, to have individuals coming in there trying to separate out anything recyclable, in my opinion, is there's just no way it can really happen, or it would be extremely difficult to make it happen with the parameters that they're given. Again, that's just I have a very good idea of how this transfer station works and Outer Loop landfill, and being on the committee, I can tell you all that from a safety standpoint, it'd be very difficult for something like this to happen. So that I just wanted to throw that in there while we're discussing the matter.
Adam, I am very concerned about safety too, but it does seem like if these people are coming to these facilities in their own vehicles and unloading anyway, that there's already a significant safety threat. And the only difference is we might ask them to unload and put it here versus unload and put it there.
But it's in a
Maybe-
controlled area when it's in the building. It's controlled. There's only one person on a big yellow metal compactor that's going to push that stuff in, and they're seeing everybody in front of them. If we have something out to the outside, there's no provision over there. There's nobody supervising what's going on, make sure they're putting it in the right spot, so on and so forth.
Also, just from one other, again, I'm in the dumpster business, so I know the cost of dumpsters, the amount of dumpsters that I think you all are asking them to provide, not only with the area and the space to do this, is a very costly thing to make all that happen. So I agree. First and foremost, from a safety standpoint, it's a huge wheel loader. I mean, these are big pieces of equipment that are running around these facilities. Hard hats, safety vests, all that stuff are mandatory when you're dumping. That's my first and foremost. And also, I think the area and the dumpsters and that you all are wanting them to provide, I think is very difficult there also.
Are we making self-haul people wear PPE?
Yes.
Safety boots and hard hats and all that?
Not safety boots.
But we make self-haul people wear hard hats when they come here?
We have a storage area where they grab them before they come in.
Wow. What if we asked you to put a single dumpster up against that northeasternmost building for mixed recyclables, that we would put the stickers on it for the same things that we collect through curbside collection?
I do not see it happening at this transfer station.
Because of
Sarah
space? Yes?
Space and who
Sarah Lynn,
operates the landfill.
this is Brian. I was the operating officer in charge of that facility for a number of years.
Mhm.
And Keith Hackett and I spent multiple days on the second floor because we were so concerned about safety in that area, because it is so tight and the equipment is so large. So I'm not so much trying to defend, but to be accurate in what I'm sharing with you. That is probably the site that has the most safety exposure of any site I've ever been responsible for in the last 4 decades.
I mean,
And
I'll
we
be
were
the
very
first to
concerned.
say, the turning radii here are very, very tight.
Yeah. They are, and I just wanted to share, the city of Louisville was very concerned about the safety there. And as a result, those 2 days, I think there were 2 4-hour stints that Keith and I spent out there. And we were trying to determine if there was a better way to handle flow and to protect all the employees coming in, not just the city. And those 3 lanes that Todd talked about, that's been the exact same since the Huber family found and built that years ago. So I'm just trying to support what Todd's saying. I don't see any additional operation on that transfer station other than what they have now.
Thank you, Brian. If we may, let's move on to Rumpke's presentation with Hillary and see, because I believe you're going to see a lot of the same concerns. And the one thing I want to say about safety, I will be 100% honest with you and tell you that I had to bury a coworker that was under my management early in my career. And I don't care how much recycling we do, it'll never be worth the same value as that employee's life. So when you think we're being overly cautious, I don't think you can ever be too cautious. So I'll turn it over to Hillary.
Thank you, Bruce. Can you all see my screen okay?
Yes?
Yes.
Great. Can you see, did that view change for you at all?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to go forth with, with this presentation mode, and hopefully everyone can see the information on the screen. Okay. So appreciate the opportunity to provide some information about our Louisville transfer station and recycling facility. This site opened in 1993, and it's off of West Oak Street in downtown Louisville. And so over the past, 28 years, the location has really developed into a very active site, providing waste and recycling collection, as well as disposal services for area residents and businesses. So really I'm going to kind of touch on the features and main aspects of the site, and then we'll look at a map of the site as well, so you get a visual. So we have a solid waste transfer station as well as a recycling facility. That recycling facility is currently a commercial recycling center, processing large volumes of source separated material, such as cardboard, sorted paper, plastics, and glass. We are currently in the process of installing necessary equipment at that facility to accept and transfer residential single stream recyclables to our Cincinnati recycling facility. So that is going to be in addition to that facility that is not currently in place at the moment. And we do expect to begin taking single stream material starting December 1st. So moving on, in addition to those two components, we also have a hauling depot where we house about 90 Rumpke collection trucks, as well as a compressed natural gas fueling station on site. We also have a vehicle maintenance garage, container storage area, area to store our portable restrooms, and we also have administrative offices. So I hope you all can see this okay. But this is our site, and I'm kind of, if you can see my cursor, I'm outlining the perimeter here.
If you put it in slideshow mode, it might make it a tad bigger for us.
I tried to do that, Sarah Lynn, but
There,
It-
won't do it?
it broadcasts on my other screen. When I
Scoot
do
it
that,
out.
I can. Is it really small for you all?
Well, it's just, you know, being able to look at the details, but we'll know.
Sure.
We have the ability to zoom in as well, remember? I
Do?
did a couple, yeah, I'm not sure about what device you're on, but on mine, it has a plus. If you scroll over to the left, it just sort of pops up.
Oh, thank you. Better, thank you.
Awesome. All right, so with my cursor here, I'm kind of outlining the perimeter of the site. I don't have lines like Todd had, but this is really the scale of the site here. So this is West Oak Street for reference. Our trucks travel down West Oak Street and enter here in the main entrance. And so here is our administrative office as well as our maintenance garage. These are containers on the ground here. If you move on back, we have our scale right here. So the trucks again enter here and move on back, scale in. Truck parking there is on your left as you come into the scale area. And then as you move on back, trucks travel around this back area here. This is a roll-off storage area. They travel around and they back into the transfer station here and unload, much like Todd was describing earlier. We also have tractor trailers that entered in that same route, and they come around here and they pull through this side of the building, and that is where the waste is loaded into the tractor trailers. And we also contract with Atomic as well for that service. So this is the waste transfer station, and then this building here is our recycling facility. Very long building. So this is really the kind of scale of the site and all of the operations that take place here. It is a very busy site. And we'll kind of talk more about vehicle traffic in the next slide, but does anyone have any questions about the site here?
I do.
Yes.
Are these trucks your trucks or random businesses?
So we have Rumpke trucks as well as third-party commercial trucks. We also have self-haul, of course. I'm going to go to this next slide.
Okay.
But yes, so on average, we have 300 vehicles that enter and exit the site daily. Those again are our trucks. We also have third-party customers that come into the site. So other waste haulers or other waste removal, businesses come into the site. And these are the types of the various types of trucks that come in and out.
Thank you.
Yes. And so as you can see, it's a very busy site. I'm there most days, and there are always trucks waiting to scale and head back to the transfer station, coming in and out daily, multiple times a day. So it is very active. We'll go to the next slide. Here I wanted to kind of touch on some of the inbound and outbound tonnage coming into the site. So on average at the transfer station, we take in and move out approximately 970 tons of material a day. And that material is transported to our landfill in Medora, Indiana. On the yard waste side, we take in about 20 tons a day and we move between 60 and 75 tons a week. And on the recycling side, we typically see about 85 tons a day coming into the site, with about 80 tons of that material moving out per day. Again, that's on average, but I wanted to showcase that as just give you guys an idea of the amount of material coming in. And again, I mentioned the single stream coming back to that site starting in December. And with the commercial and residential single stream totals, we'll see about 110 tons of recycling coming in and out total per day.
Can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
Does that imply that you lose about 25 to 30 or a third of your yard waste? Does it go somewhere else? The difference between your inbound and outbound?
Per day and per week.
Yeah, so that's per week, Greg. So
Right.
we don't move the yard waste every day. It may be a couple times a week, depending on needs. So
Just the numbers, would be 100 tons if it was everything came in and came out. So I'm just wondering, some of it goes somewhere else, or does it get lost, or it's contaminated, or
breaks down?
it just stays there until we can move it out, if that makes sense. So
maybe
we
a
don't
break?
we don't move every bit of it out each week. So some of it'll stay on the ground, depending on how much we can move out. But of course, it all eventually is moved at some point.
Okay.
So can you tell us how much of this tonnage is self-haul, or is that a separate line item?
So that, I'm going to have to get back to you all on that. I believe we do track that information, but I wasn't able to get those official numbers for you for tonight. But I can certainly get that information and report back to the group.
That's perspective would be really helpful, I think.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Hillary, could you go back to the overview of the site, please?
Sure.
With you in control, I just want to show some of the limiting factors. The trucks parking area. She's putting her cursor on that area now. Those are all set up for slow fill CNG. And the back corner is pretty much off limits because those are large compressed natural gas storage tanks located there, somewhat outlined by some tractor trailers for protection. Behind those, you may see some roll-offs that are stored in that roll-off storage area. But just rounding that bend is probably one of the closest areas of congestion on the site. And whether they branch off to go into the transfer station or into the MRF, obviously that's dependent upon the truck and what it's carrying. Could you put our cursor on where the tractor trailer is going to come out with single stream recycling, Hillary? And this will give you an idea on how tight this facility is. We're going to put a perpendicular belt into that building to bring it out the backside to top or to compact single stream recyclables into a 53-foot trailer there. And then that's going to have to go out through the mayhem of the back curve to exit the facility. We do have another egress point there on the back side so that they don't have to cross going outbound back onto Oak Street. All of this is contained within 12 acres, I believe. Is that correct, Hillary?
Yes, that's correct.
Do we have any additional questions? Or Hillary, you want to continue with your presentation, please?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and continue. I invited our safety manager, Josh McConnell, tonight to just kind of touch on the importance of safety and maybe some of the policies that we have on this site. So Josh, feel free to take it away.
All right, good afternoon. I appreciate the time here. Hillary, if you want, you can go ahead and go back to the oversight. Because I'm going to kind of piggyback off of what Republic said, where from what I'm hearing and from what I'm understanding, the end goal is the main issue at our site is definitely going to be the space. Where we do currently accept third-party haulers and self-haulers, but it's definitely more controllable right now because the only thing that we allow them to dump is municipal solid waste. With the idea of them being able to separate material on site, the only way to really do that is to stage a separate area for that to happen. And then therefore you would have to have multiple boxes. These roll-off boxes, a 30-yard roll-off is just over 6 foot tall. So now you get into the realms of fall protection. If somebody was to throw a piece of metal into the top of a container and it fall back on them and hit them, that is something a company could be held liable for. If we were to build dock ramps up to them for those to, for them to drive up or walk up and throw it in, now that's a fall protection issue because they could fall down in the container. So just different things that we've seen over the years. I do a lot of work with SWANA, which is the Solid Waste Association of North America. I'm sure some of you have heard of them. And they're one of the only entities that track statistics that involve third parties, and they do track fatal incidents involving third-party people, which is non-work related or non-workers of the waste and recycling industry. In 2020, there were 76 fatalities that involved a third-party person, and 52 that involved worker fatalities. So obviously there's a risk. It's one of the most dangerous jobs in the country, statistically speaking. We're at number 5 this year. So I believe it was said earlier was, we're already having self-haulers come to our site. So the risk is already there, but it's our goal and part of my job as a region safety manager is to minimize and reduce the risk as much as possible. And we're already in talk with Atomic. That is, they operate our transfer station. So we have, not only do we have a wheel loader back there, like Republic mentioned, we also have an excavator and then sometimes 2 wheel loaders, just depending on the volume that we're getting in. So there's a lot of heavy equipment traffic. Heavy machinery accounted for 5 of those fatalities that I just mentioned. So it is not only our goal, but our responsibility to minimize the risks. And just the way that we are set up, we are currently running out of space fast. So I don't see us of having any way of feasibly doing, at least what I understand is being requested. At least not with our current setup.
Have you ever considered not allowing self-haul?
Right.
It sounds scary. Like maybe it shouldn't be done at all.
So in a lot of our locations, at least that I've been involved with, so aside from the transfer station here in Louisville, I'm also responsible for a landfill that we own and operate in Medora, and then we operate a landfill in Bartholomew County, Indiana. So the ideal situation is if you have self-haulers, because I look at self-haulers as different, because when I think third party, we have a lot of other waste and recycling companies that come in here. So everything from Waste Management to Ecotech, Gotta Go, there's a lot of different. So I call those third parties. But then your self-haulers that are coming in, we isolate them really at any location that we're taking things. So, but given now that that's the only thing that they're doing is they're hauling in trash, we're able to isolate it. Versus if you have different staging areas or yard boxes, it's a lot harder to manage that process.
Do the people
Yeah, Karen, we do
at
have
this sorry.
I'm sorry, Karen, but we do have self-hauls that actually bring in recyclables as well. You may have some printing companies They have off-spec print that they bring in with a pickup truck and a pallet on the back. And so we try to accommodate, all the customers who want to come in. But they are somewhat isolated in the transfer station as well as in the MRF. And one unloading area for a lot of the inbound recyclables is right in the middle of the property. You can see that, I don't know, Hillary, if you still have control, but if you, right in the center, it's a trailer's staging zone or outbound trailer loading area, loading dock. So those trailers are actually crossing over lanes of traffic. So it's almost like we needed, the help of a traffic cop sometimes out here.
Well, that was my next question. Do you have somebody who directs the flow of vehicles, or does pretty much everybody know what they're doing?
It's a very consistent flow of vehicles, and all the haulers that we have coming in know the routes. So, I mean, if they have any questions, there's always someone around that they can answer.
Outdoors?
Yes.
Good.
Is the self-haul material placed on the ground, like Todd was saying?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, and just to kind of expand on that a little. So anybody that comes onto our site, they are required to pull onto our scale, which is right in the middle. So when they pull onto the scale, one of our scale attendants will give them the direction of where to go and how to get there. And then if it's a self-hauler and they're going to the transfer station, when they loop around the back, one of the operators back there that work for Atomic will direct them where they want them. And typically if it's a self-hauler, anybody that's not in a big garbage truck, they're directed to dump at the northeast corner, which is if you see the box that actually says transfer station, just to the right of that, they will actually dump outside of the transfer onto the ground right there, and then it gets pushed up with the big wheel loader.
All right, so just to wrap up, as we were discussing, you can kind of see we do have limited space at this site to provide the proper location and proper infrastructure for the separation of self-haul material. And like Josh talked about, safety is priority number one. And with this, we believe would come increased safety and liability risks that we certainly want to steer clear of if at all possible. We certainly understand the importance of wanting to recover and divert more material. But this is a consideration that we really feel strongly should be taken into account with this particular recommendation.
I'm really curious to know, do any of these companies who are reminding us of the importance of safety require employees to be vaccinated against COVID? I didn't think so. I just wanted to say, safety cuts both ways.
Hello. Hey, this is Bill Schlabo from Waste Management. I just want to put my 2 cents in and echo what our colleagues from Republic and Rumpke are talking about. We've had fatalities at our transfer stations, and we and it's because there's a lot of heavy equipment there. There's drop-offs, and it's a limited space. So those are very dangerous areas to operate in. And I just want to share our support for we just want to echo what our colleagues in the industry have been saying this evening. Thank you.
I would like, Hillary, do you have more? I did want to chime in with something, but I can wait if.
Really, that's it. I did have a video of our Scott County facility, which is a brand new transfer station over in Georgetown, Kentucky. Pete had, I think, asked at a previous meeting or at some group meeting about site. And so for comparison, I was going to show this if it would be helpful. Certainly don't have to, because I know we're on a time schedule here. But I did have a video of that facility just to showcase the differences, because that Pete did ask about that. But I
don't think that's a bad thing to do. I just kind of want to say, as far as safety, that I would hope that anyone on these calls or presenting, I would hope wouldn't assume that any representative from our staff or from our committee would want to actually, change the safety aspect of it. Obviously, it is an unsafe type of business, and there's just risk involved. But I would hope that no one actually thinks that we're trying to cause there to be more safety issues. I think based on what we discussed at the last meeting and anything that I've heard about, I think the thought process, and especially for me, I haven't, actually been to a lot of these facilities, and I certainly have never worked at one, but I think the idea was that we know that people are coming already, and we know that people are unloading already, and from a pickup truck or whatever, and we know that people are getting out of their vehicle already. So so to me, the space requirement makes more sense than the safety requirement, because the idea, from my understanding, is that we weren't trying to change anything except for where the material gets put. Similar to the idea of having a side-by-side garbage and recycling container, you're throwing it away anyway, so put it in the right container. I know that's not the same as unloading at a facility like this, but I think that was always the thought, that it's more about the separation and not changing the actual process, I guess.
Karen, speaking for, I'll say for all the hauling companies out there, none of us ever thought any of that you all were putting safety to the side. It is, but it's number one to all of us, right? And, you guys included, and we have to focus on that part of it first. The responsibility, rely on the property holder and whatnot. So that's why I think we all put safety at the top.
Any other questions for Hillary before we move into the Scott County overview? Hearing none, Hillary, take it away.
All right. So this was a video we put together on the development of the site. I'm not going to go through the development pieces, but I will play this. This just gives you an overview of this site, and it really was designed to provide ample space. I'm going to turn that music down. It was designed to provide ample space for both commercial waste haulers as well as self-haul customers to come in and dispose of material. And then at this site, we do provide space and drop boxes for material for recycling. And again, space was at the forefront of the design of this site. Again, this was opened back in June, so it's brand new. And just wanted to showcase this for comparison. This site has a lot more space to provide a location to safely separate material, whereas the Louisville site, we're really just strapped for space, truly. And that is the primary concern with the Louisville site. It's just not having enough space to do so. So anyway, I wanted to showcase that kind of quick video just to give you a visual of the Scott County site. So hopefully that's helpful. And with that, I'll just say thank you so much for the opportunity to share information with you. Are there any additional questions?
Hillary, did the video play or did
Oh,
the video?
it did. Yeah. Did you not see the video playing?
I wasn't able to see it. Did anyone else see
No.
the?
Oh, you know what? I'm sharing my PowerPoint and I wasn't sharing the browser that I have open. I apologize. I'm used to Teams and WebEx is a bit more foreign to me. Hang on, let me see if I can stop sharing and reshare. Hang on just a second. Share again. Here we go. All right. Can you all see my screen?
Now we can.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and play this video. So this is our Scott County site. And I'm sorry, well, I am currently at home and my son is asking if I am downstairs. Hang on just one moment. So again, this is just a visual to show you our Scott County site. It was designed with space again at the forefront, and we do have a community drop box location where folks can separate their material on this site. So it is much different from a space standpoint than our Louisville facility. So that is the gist of that site. I am going to stop sharing.
Thank you both, Todd and Hillary. We appreciate the presentations. Any other questions for Todd or Hillary? Hearing none. Let's see, next item on the agenda. Okay, I guess we're done to public input. Is there anyone wishing to be heard on items pertaining to the agenda in the audience? Hearing none, we'll move on to announcements. The next 109 board meeting is Wednesday, November 24th.
We just,
5:30.
Bruce, sorry, we
That's
just, the board decided to cancel that being so close to Thanksgiving.
Okay,
So I've currently updated the website and I'll also send an email to everybody and the interested parties, just so everybody knows not to be looking for that.
all right, thank you, Karen.
Mhm.
Our subcommittee meetings still on track. We have the residential C&D subcommittee meeting Tuesday, December 14th from 2 to 3. And the ICI South Hall subcommittee meeting on Wednesday, December 15th from 3:15 to 4:15. The next advisory committee meeting will be Wednesday, December 15th from 4:30 to 6. Those are all still in play. Anything else from any of the board members or the committee members that you want to bring up at this time? All right, hearing none, I guess we're at the time where I need a motion to adjourn.
I motion.
Was that Mr. Blue?
Adam Story.
Hello, Adam. Thank you. Yeah, we have a motion by Mr. Story. Do we have a second?
I'll
Second.
second. Greg.
second by Greg Zarandic. Any discussion? All in favor? Vote by saying aye.
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 Those opposed? Hearing none, motion carries unanimously. Thank you all very much. I appreciate everyone's input tonight. And hopefully we've given everybody a better look at what we're facing. Have a good evening.
Have a good Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Bruce.
Thank you.